Hello, and Cedric and Cedra. CR Wrestling Commentary, New Japan Pro Wrestling, G1 Climax 31, Day 5. And we are so sick. But I wanted to comment on something Zemo times 2 has said, but
you can't find it.
Yeah, it's not in my. What I do is I see it. And I'm like, okay, and I'll just go to the channel and go to the video and read it from there. And I usually delete it, but I don't empty my trash too often. So it's not in the trash of Gmail, and it's not anywhere on. I can't find it on any of the G1 videos. Maybe he took it down or something. Maybe he felt it was inflammatory or something. I don't know. I was like, man, because honestly, when I read it, it kind of lifted my spirits when I read everything at the time, and I was hoping to just retort on it. I just remember him saying, he was like, why y'all hating on Goto? And as he said that he's a very underrated wrestler. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Goto is extremely underrated, highly. I'll be honest with you, the first time I saw Goto, when he was coming to the, after I saw his intro, he's coming to the ring, I was like, oh, okay. My first thoughts were, this is the reincarnation of Kensuke Sasaki. This is just before I see him wrestle, my ad. So he's a reincarnation of Kensuke Sasaki. Not that Kensuke's dead, just, he's not wrestling anymore. I guess, Diamond Ring didn't work out, so he just said, screw it. And his look, I was like, okay. So he must, because it's been a while since I had watched New Japan at the time, so I thought, he's either a former champion or he's on his way to be an IWGP champion. That's just going on his look, his demeanor, and all that. So then he gets in the ring and wrestles. And I thought, this dude is a beast. He's a beast. I didn't hear any talk. When I listen to the Japanese commentators, I can pick up very tiny things. And they only mentioned other matches, other wrestlers, and not one time IWGP or listen to Heavy Q. Never heard any of that. So I was like, okay, let me look this guy up. And he was never, and he was all this, and he had rivals with Suzuki and stuff. And Ishii, but he never. I was like, why has this dude never been main champion? So when it comes to Goto Hiroki, I'm like, they sleeping on this dude. And although our view of him is, he is still championship material. It's just for us, there's things that we like to see in wrestlers that keep our attention. And he is lacking a thing.
He's lacking consistency.
Now, when it comes to consistency and match type, the thing is, how long can you have, 3.5 to 4.5 star matches and never win a main title? Before you say, screw it, I'm just going to do enough to not get fired. Because if you screw somebody over long enough, they're not going to perform for you. People, you can see it in wrestlers. They perform based on, the prospects of future endeavors, positive future endeavors. And when you say you will only get these rudimentary titles that we don't give a damn about, and that's the best you're going to do, well, crap. What's the point on trying?
All right, so Goto is 42.
Oh, shit. Well, they don't care about him now.
Tanahashi's 44. Naito's 39. He's in that age where if it ain't happening now,
it's not gonna happen. Yeah. So Goto's screwed.
But that aside, though, when you hear the commentators talking about Goto being inconsistent, you don't want to give it any credence. But then you watch, and it's like you watch matches where he is driven or inspired, and it's different than when he's just getting his shit in. Not saying that he's a bad wrestler. No.
No, he's a damn good wrestler.
It just seems like it takes something special to light a spark under him. You know, some wrestlers, their spark is always lit.
Like when Ishii slacks off, it's hard to see it.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've seen it. It's just hard to fucking see.
So I mean, we don't dislike Goto at all.
We like him.
You can see a difference.
Yep.
From one Goto to the other.
And I guess for New Japan, they're like, if there's no consistency, then how can we promote you? Because I'll give one thing to Okada. He's consistent in his stupidity. I'm just not an Okada fan.
Yeah.
I like his look. I like his gear. I like some of the moves he do. But he is consistently being pulled through all of the big matches instead of leading the big matches.
Yeah.
And if his idea is to look like, oh, I'm so beat to shit, and then I win, then now you make it look like no one can beat a weak you. So that doesn't get anybody over. So that's why it's like that for this stuff, you know?
Let's do a comparison. Let's compare Goto to Shingo. Because Shingo got the belt right now.
Yeah.
Shingo's 38, so he's younger.
He's creeping up to the you're not gonna have this.
True. But one, he can talk.
Yeah.
Shingo can talk very well. Goto's not known to talk.
Talkers don't get noticed, like Ishii.
Non-talkers don't get noticed.
Yeah, non-talkers, my bad. I thought I said that.
Two, Takagi is like Sonata. He's so good that when he's not good, you know he's holding back.
Yes.
And Goto's just not like that. We know he can. We know he's got the ability. But sometimes he get beaten. It's like, oh yeah. It don't look like he's holding back. It just look like,
running the mill. It's same old. When he got beat, he just got outclassed this day. Let's move on, and that's it.
Whereas when Sonata, like when Shingo lost to Will Ospreay, we knew that was bullshit. We knew that was all them damn shenanigans.
But you could tell Shingo didn't show up. He looked good. But he looked real good, but he didn't show up.
And that's how you knew it was that bullshit. Because he decimated everybody in that Best of the Super Juniors. Left him fucking laying. That's why it was the Best of Shingo and some juniors.
Which is the only good thing Don Callis has ever said.
Don Callis didn't say that shit. Chris said it.
I thought that was...
No, Don Callis
No, it wasn't Chris. It was that other dude from that Aussie promotion.
No,
the big dude.
It wasn't the big dude. It was Chris. I remember. It wasn't Australia. It was the British dude with all the stats that messes up the words with the A on it.
Okay, good. So I don't have to keep crediting in my mind Don Callis. Yay!
No, it was Chris. He was like, Shingo's my favorite. I called the Best of Shingo and some juniors, and I was like, You hit the nail on the head, motherfucker, because he should have took it. It should have been a clean sweep.
The world was pissed that day.
Because Shingo had to not show up for Will Ospreay to win. And hell, that was before Will Ospreay put on that extra weight. So he was just, ain't no way he should have beat Shingo. Shingo should have plowed through his ass like a hot knife through butter. So yeah. And Goto does not have that quality. Not every wrestler does. And since he has reached that state where it's either now or never and it's going closer than never, hey, I kind of understand.
New Japan, like some E-feds I know, when some people get to a certain point, they just out them. They just, I don't care about you no more, you're done. And I'm like this. If I was New Japan, I'd be like, you know what? I have invested a lot of money, a lot of time into you. You better show up every damn night so we can give you this belt.
Yeah.
That's how that would be. Because we know how good you are. We know how good you can be. You better get your shit right. Get your balls up and fight, man.
Man, Coda's 39. He looked like he...
mid-20s.
Yeah. He still got that baby face.
But for New Japan, he looked like that. So New Japan would be like, your age is getting up there, which makes us say, but your look and appearance is youthful, and the women still love you, so we can work with you. So he'll have more opportunities. He and Naito will have the opportunities. People like Goto, no. And I ain't gonna lie, Goto should have been IWGP champion a while ago. But maybe his inconsistency is what's been doing it. Maybe. Or maybe he just gets like, I'm tired of jobbing to people, so why should I try?
Yeah.
You know? I've seen Goto wrestle more young lions than anything else. Just like Nagata and stuff. So it's kind of like, that's how he probably feels.
Yeah.
You know, I do enough to not get fired. I ain't gonna lie, you know, I'm just saying. I know who'll pay you more money, and I know you'll get better opportunities to chill. That'd be AEW. Don't let AEW be like, yeah, AEW Japan. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It ain't like they can't do it.
Yeah.
All they got to do is just, you know, learn what professional wrestling is, and they'll be all right.
Yeah, good luck with that.
They're getting it slow, but people ain't got time for slow. They got time for it should have been yesterday.
Oh, I want to make a real quick correction. We were talking about Kota Ibushi and his illness. It wasn't asphyxiation pneumonia. It was aspiration pneumonia. Sorry.
Okay, so what's aspiration?
Aspiration pneumonia is what I was saying asphyxiation pneumonia was.
Oh,
I
so
just used the wrong A word.
Okay. Whew. All right. So that goes for our opening and whatnot. So that would take care of the missed match. And comments I would like to go over too. I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna put in the link to this. Not to this, but to Spreaker and whatnot. And you know, if y'all do, you know, hey, keep that link going and stuff. You know, because I'm gonna end up doing. I might do like if people are responding and whatnot. I might do the podcast for that when I do responses to them. I might do it like that. We'll just have to see. You know, but yeah, we're gonna move on and get to these matches and stuff. All right, y'all, let's roll. Okay, our next match is Takashi Yujiro versus Great Khan. Hey, y'all, look. If you heard much months ago earlier commentary when you talked about Great Khan in Revolution Pro or Rev Pro, here's the thing. It seems like, how can I say, Euro type Westerners, you know, Australia, New Zealand, you know, Europe, all that stuff. They pronounce A's with a heavy ER. So they was calling him Great O'Karn. And so we thought his name was, you know, the Great O'Karn. Now we've been calling him properly for a little bit now, Great O'Karn. And only learned that in New Japan, you know, how it's supposed to flow is all hyphenated. So Great O'Karn. Or as they would say, Great O'Karn. But I think it's kind of funny and kind of cool at the same time. So these two got to face off, okay? Takashi Yujiro and Great Khan. And I mean, it's when it comes to pro wrestling, it's a solid match. It's a good match. It's just not exciting. You know why? Both of these guys, it's not about the moves. No. It's not about specialized moves, signature moves, and all this other stuff. You know why? Because the most fundamental basics are all used and portrayed by the young lions. And their matches are always high caliber. Why? They have urgency. They have a need, a want, and a desire to win that their senpais lost ages ago. It's like, oh yeah, don't be so excited. Calm down and just go through the numbers. So, you know, they're not trying to prove anything. They're more like, I get paid. That's what it looked like in comparison. That's what it looked like. Not saying it's what it is. It's what it looked like. So you got, Takashi and Great Khan with no urgency, equal lack of urgency. And you see it in this match. There is no urgency. This match exploited that. So when you got I'm not going to try versus I'm not going to try, you got a match where you're like, Cedra's on her phone most of the time.
Yeah.
I was watching the match. They all got their shit in.
Yeah. It wasn't pacing. It's just no urgency.
We'll do stuff.
Neither one of them had anything to prove. Yujiro wasn't wrestling with another one of Bullet Club who thought he wasn't shit, so he had nothing to prove. And Great Khan's like, Yujiro ain't shit, so he ain't had nothing to prove.
But Okan, here I go. Great Khan had to try to fire him up. Only I heard him say it, but even Kevin Kelly was kind of like, he must have said something about Peter. Because I heard him say something, he points to Peter. And then, while mushing Takashi with his boot, I don't know what he said, but Takashi got up and was like, "We gonna do this with no urgency." I'm like, grief. But I'll tell you this, I did want Takashi Yujiro to win.
I was rooting for Great Khan.
See, I was rooting for the one that I knew wasn't gonna win. Because I'd like to see him win. I see Yujiro like a young lion. Just lacking urgency. So
we've seen Great Khan since he was a young lion. I'm glad he's doing well. It's like I'm glad Kawaii changed his look. He looked better. He slimmed down back to close to where he was in his young lion days.
Yep. He got off that Mexican food.
It was a decent, solid match. There's no urgency.
Yep.
And
Great Khan won with the choke into the Iron Claw Slam, and he got the 1, 2, 3.
He hurt his back on the ramp. Everywhere he was reaching and clutching, you can see later on he's got a red mark on his lower back.
Yep. He ain't gonna be faring too well. Kevin Kelly brought up a lot of stuff saying how wrestlers get acupuncture and chiropractic treatments constantly and stuff because of the pain in their backs
and
necks. So, I feel bad for these wrestlers, but at the same time, it's their profession, it's their job. If they made the ring worth a fuck instead of, as hard as trigonometry in alien form, then they wouldn't have these back problems. That's my assumption anyway. But it is what it is. There ain't nothing I can do about it. That's why I say that. So we're gonna get on to the next match. So let's roll. Next match is Tonga Loa versus Yano Toru, and this is your jokester prankster match thing. How can I say this? It's a toss up on which this match I think should have been first on the account that is a tomfoolery match. However, it should have been second because it's more entertaining. So maybe that's why it's second. They knew that it'd be more entertaining.
Maybe.
Tonga Loa come out looking smooth as butter, man. Smooth as butter. His cool factor is all maxed out. Yano has an introduction that makes Apollo Creed look kind of weak.
I mean, it's so long. Good grief.
That's what she said. And so, oh crap! I almost had a catastrophe here. I gotta sit back. It's hot because I gotta clamp this over my shirt, and so, oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's better. That's better. So, okay, they all got their shit in. They did. It was not necessarily a back and forth match as it was Loa just beating on Toru.
Mm-hmm. Now, he whooped. Toru took far more damage than he's accustomed to.
in the beginning there was the count out and the tip, but it's kind of how it was. It was Loa was new to this from what we can see. We haven't been watching this for a year, and so he pulled the shirt over his head. Yano can't see, yada yada, and Loa looked like, hey, I could do something here. And so I was like, just put your shirt over your head, man. So I was kind of annoyed that they would use that as a longevity spot when it could be rectified inside of half a second. Oh, he got a shirt over my head, pull it off. But then he threw
a young boy into him.
Yeah, Fujita into him. The young lion threw him into him. I was like, well, okay, he's got his own. Yano got in the ring just in time. They continue wrestling. Yano, well, at least not so much wrestling as a one-sided ass whooping. Yano eventually, he gets all his shtick in, removing the turnbuckle pad, hitting him with the pad. Loa kind of hulking up on the pad, hitting them. They go through their spots, and then Yano come in after Loa pushes Yano into the ref.
Yeah.
After the ref stopped Yano from a low blow, it was like, Yano reels back, let's go. And I'm like, good grief.
Yeah.
He literally shouts, let's go. You can hear it all over the arena. It's awesome.
He's loud.
Yeah, his voice carries. And he gets stopped, pushed into the ref is down. Jado gets into the ring, and then that's when, it looked real bad. Because you get into the ring with the kendo stick, you don't slide it over. You get in and you whoop a person's ass with it. Beat them while they down. That's what good heel work is. So I'm like, okay, what's finna happen? Because that just went stupid. That's what I thought was going to happen. How is Yano going to win this match in the end? Because when you get in and don't do the most commonsensical thing, then you've already exposed that you're supposed to lose. At least your team is. So he gets in. Yano's able to wrestle it from him, knock him down, throw Loa into the corner, hurting him. Picks up the kendo stick, whacks Loa in the back. He tosses it to Jado, and
just in time for the referee to see.
And Loa to turn around. He's like, Jado, why? Jado? And nut shot, roll up, 1, 2, 3. Loa loses.
Yeah.
That was the match. So Loa shows one. He wrestling gear, he can dress to the nines. He shows 2 that he can show enough wrestle. 3, he shows that he can wrestle any kind of match, joke, serious, street fight, or brawling. He's versatile, and he's showing that. So I think this is going to be good for Tonga Loa. They're showing that he can do all kinds of stuff. So I think they're going to build Loa Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. I think they're building them up to have individual title reigns as well as a double title tag team reign. So they're gonna it might be one with IC and one with Never, and Tama Tonga would definitely have the IC and Loa would have the Never.
There's no IC belt.
Oh, they got rid of that?
They unified the IC and the.
Also, what's next? The US belt.
US belt. Yeah, it would have to be that.
So he'd have the US belt. That'd be Tama Tonga, and then there would be then they would both have the tag team titles. That's how I think they're going to try to work it. And it'd be cool if they did that, but yeah, we'll just see how they have to roll. But that was the end of that. So we're going to get to the next match. Let's roll. All right, everyone. Next match is Kenta versus Ishii Tomohiro. Look, I'm be honest with you. I hope I'm not busting out your eardrums or whatnot, but I got this thing as close to my mouth as I can. I just don't have the power in my lungs. Coughing and stuff.
Yeah, we're fading a bit. I dozed in and out of that last match because the congestion is just messing with me. And that's an Ishii match, so I don't feel good.
Yeah. She was interested, and her face is hurting. It's congestion. There's a hot, cold pack. I'm gonna heat that up, and she can rest that on her face. But right now, this is the maximum power I got in my voice. So this match here, I had to fast forward through quite a bit at the opening because Kenta was taking this sweet ass time walking around the ring and stuff, and just the only way I can get away with that would have been Great Muta, or some other malevolent pesky wrestler. Kenta's not it. Ultimately, Ishii drug him in. They started fighting. Ishii wasn't gonna let him go. Kenta was striking back with Ishii because Kenta's a striker. So this all looked good. It was right up both their alleys. Kenta began working on the arm. He did a whole lot of arm work, throwing him outside the ring into the post and stuff and the guardrail. Ishii was in pain. And after some more arm work, and Ishii tried to fire up a little bit, but he kept getting put down. Hold up, gotta mute for a second. Okay, had to cough. Ishii found himself in game over pretty early on, about that 12 to 15 minute mark. And he was in it for a long time, and I was sitting there just watching. I'm like, oh man, I was every iota of concern, worry, from will he lose to will he be hurt to will it be a nagging long-term aided injury. Every concern that I had, it was out there. It was on the surface of my mind. I mean, he had me. Ishii, he's great at what he does, and despite that, he was able to still get to the ropes after a long time. And that arm, the damage he could normally do with that arm, almost nil. You could see it. Even though he was hitting moves, it didn't have the same impact. They kept battling. They went back and forth. They did their things. They got their shit in. They got all that stuff. But then Kenta, with the corner exposed, it worked for him and then against him at points. But at the end of the match, when Ishii tried to fire up and get him, he reverses it. No, it was more like a counter reversal, slamming Ishii's head into it, and then immediately rolled him up to a deep schoolboy, hooking the belt for added leverage, and got the 1-2-3. So he won that way, and it was convincing. And Ishii, I think he got a knot on his head. It's real bad. So I would assume that when they get to the back, the trainers or whatnot, they'll see how bad it is, ice it, try to get as much heat out of it, see where it really is, isolate it, and maybe if fortune falls, hey, lance it. Just get a good lance to it, let it bleed out. Probably no stitches needed. If it's a good proper bleeding for lance, it won't need any stitches. Just a bandage for about half a day, and it should be healed over through the night, and then so it should be all right if they do it that way. But Kenta was bragging and boasting in his face, and I'm like, man, I kept thinking it makes a lot of sense if Ishii just blasted him right there, just blasted him. But you know what? This made Kenta look real good. Ishii always looked good, always. So this was a really good match. I suggest you see it. I suggest you watch it. It's great. I could watch it again. It's really good. It's just the opening of it with Kenta walking around the ring and evading him, just not getting in the ring, Ishii waiting in the ring. that just took forever. So I had to fast. I knew what was going to happen, so I just kept fast forwarding. All right, so with that, we're gonna get to the main event. Let's roll. All right, main event time. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ibushi Kota. I remember the first time I saw them wrestle a few years ago, and that was like Ibushi's resurgence into New Japan, and Zack was still being seen as the Rev Pro agented dominant person in Japan. And this match sort of went the same way. Zack Sabre Jr. elevates his submission game. He adds power to his game. And you got to see it in this match. There's so many spots in this match. So many. But this was all Zack Sabre Jr. This was not Kota Ibushi's match.
No, he was wrestling Zack's match.
This match, and I'm gonna be straight up. By and large, this was a one-sided main event match, and it happens. And sometimes it needs to happen. But Kota, he weathered an onslaught of submission, counter submission, rope hung, armbar, body lock submissions. He went through a few power moves. Well, okay, the elevated Dragon Bomb from Junior. Okay, yep, that was good. He didn't get the Zack Driver, but Zack tried. As weird as this is, because I guess he likes to mess with Ibushi, but he tried going back and forth with body kicks. That's just a mistake. And the 3 occasions that I've seen them wrestle in singles and tag combined, he knows better. So Kota, he won out on that. Kota he got his shots in, standing moonsaults, but Junior was ready to preemptively counter a lot of Kota's regular stuff. Here's what the beauty is of this match. Zack Sabre Jr. shows if you can't evolve from your standardized wrestling match, then you definitely will never beat me, nor should you beat me. Because Zack has a devastating array of alternating and evolving and change up, submission, grappling, takedown, wear down, holds. He knows how to work the arm, work the leg, work the ankle, the wrist. He knows how to shoulder control. Zack is a goblin in that damn ring. He is submission master. I'm gonna have to give it to him. He won this match. He won this match with a body lock, folding heel hook, ankle lock. Kota had nowhere to go. He couldn't use his arms. And the ref asked him if he was going to give up, and he nodded. The ref turned his head away. I'm like, he's nodding, and he asked him again. He nodded, half-assed looking away. Then he asked him again. He's nodding, and then he finally calls for the bell. It was in rapid succession. I could be wrong on that memory, but I do remember him nodding and the ref not being there. I don't know about the second, but I know about that last for sure. So the second nod is the iffy memory. I have to give it that. So right now, let's go through this. Zack Sabre Jr. injury submission. Okay, don't know when that happened early in the match, but he got that on Naito. He won with a submission, yeah, but Naito was injured earlier in the match. Not massively earlier, but it was before that hold. So the hold didn't injure him. He was hurt before that. He was just fighting on. Some people, when they tear ligaments in the knee, they just go down and that's it. Some they can battle on. Everybody's different. Then he goes against Takagi Shingo and he submits him and left him with a strained bicep. Okay, now he just submitted again Ibushi Kota. So he has taken out New Japan Pro Wrestling's A-Block top tier battlers. All right. That's what he's done. The only other person in this block that has a reasonable visual chance of winning is Ishii Tomohiro, the person that we saw Zack submit via choke a while ago. So there's a lot going on with that. Zack is either going to have his only loss to Ishii Tomohiro or he's going to have a clean sweep. That's it. You know, that's it. On the other side, I would say honestly the winner of that block is going to be Okada. So it's going to come down. It's not going to be Sonata. It's going to be Okada and Zack Sabre. But if they want to give it justice, if they want to see that crowd just saying this is it, they're going to need Sonata to win and Sonata and Zack to have an epic 5-star catch-as-catch technical match. And truth be told, Sonata to win that match. That's what they're going to need. But if they already see Zack as youthful as he is, as dominant as they're showcasing him, and having a win over the champion, it puts the drama for Wrestle Kingdom. The drama is, okay, Zack wins the whole tournament. Shingo lost to him. He was submitted. What's going to happen in this main event at Wrestle Kingdom? How is that going to come down? So there's a lot to work with. But right now, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to win this block. And his only loss can come to Ishii Tomohiro. Other than that, clean sweep. That's it. One loss or a clean sweep. If y'all feel different, let me know. You know, let me know. You have anything to say at all over there? Or you just trying to make it?
I'm just trying to make it. Sorry.
She's really bad off. So am I. But right now this tournament is good. I'm gonna watch Zack's matches. I like Zack. I just see this happening. So I wonder what deal they got. I wonder if Zack saw somebody with the neighbor's goat or something. Who knows? He caught somebody with a chicken or something somewhere. It's something. But when you're presented this dominant and the others aren't going to elevate their game, then they stay dominant. You know why? Because the others haven't done anything new. Think about how Sonata evolved quickly dealing with Zack. Thought Sonata was already damn near unbeatable in terms of skill and how smooth he is in the ring. Then he goes against Zack many times and he just, almost God mode in a ring he can. So everybody else need to step up their game or leave the playing field. That's about how that go. Y'all listening, tell us your thoughts on this. We want to hear. We want to hear your thoughts if you're watching this. And if you're only getting wins and losses via our commentary, let us know, and we can know, hey, cool. And we'll make sure to never flub on who wins and loses like we did on day 3. But we get out of here because we're sick. And y'all got other stuff to do. Y'all get back to your life. Y'all could have listened to a lot of things. You chose to listen to us, even in our vocally beaten and stuff. We're beat up. Thank you. Seriously appreciate it. So it's been Cedric and Cedric for CR Wrestling Commentary. New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 31, Day 5. Y'all be safe. Mask up, glove up, chill. All right. Thank you for listening. Take care. With that said, good night, everybody. See you next time.